Alright, Executioner review. Let's get over this quickly. So basically this guy killed the French royal family. Wait. This guy is the new event tower from Night 4 of Solar Eclipse event. Yes, that's it, yeah. So, what this guy does is basically he throws a axe, and it comes back to him like a boomerang. I'm not sure about the logic behind that, but sure, whatever. Let's first talk about the stats. The Executioner, despite using a melee weapon, actually has some pretty good range. But how good is the Executioner at actually dealing damage? At level 0, it does 4 damage every 3 seconds. At level 1, it does 4 damage every 2 seconds. At level 2, it does 8 damage every 2 seconds. At level 3, it does 15. At level 4, 30. And at max level, a whopping 80 damage. Despite it having some of the highest damage in the game, its slow fire rate leaves it with relatively low DPS, not in line with its high cost of $800 to place and $22,800 to max out. But it does make up for that by dealing splash damage. You see, when Executioner throws its axe, that axe, before returning to his hand, can hit anywhere from 3 enemies at level 0 to 5 at level 3 and 7 at max. What brings Executioner over other splash damage towers is that instead of having, say, an explosion hitbox, in which enemies will receive varying amounts of damage depending on how close the enemy is to the center of the explosion, Mr. Headchopper here's Crescent Axe hitbox is more likely to hit far more enemies and also spreads damage evenly. Well, actually, I still think Swarmer is better. Some miscellaneous facts about Executioner: it has flying detection at all levels and gains hidden detection at level 4. Now that we're through the garbage stats part of the video, a question arises. Is the Executioner even good? The short answer, no. Well, yeah, it is true that Executioner is probably second only to Swarmer for splash damage. Let's just say the competition isn't exactly tough. While Swarmer is an actually good splash damage tower, as you can stack the beehive grenades and deal thousands of damage per second, but most other splash damage generally, 9 DPS, wow. How does Executioner compare to other towers, and what is its role in the meta? Well, I don't think Executioner has a role in the meta at all. For one, it's too expensive to be an early game tower, not to mention its hidden detection being unlocked at level 4, meaning it can't be a hidden detection either. And not to mention the whole role of crowd control is simply done better by, high damage towers like Accelerator, who, fun fact, you need to beat the event anyways. You don't need everyone on your team to have it. Heck, I beat it with me being the only person on my team with it. But if you didn't pay to win, spend 700 Robux on it, at least someone had to have it. Chances are, you already have most of the good towers already as well, which also invalidates it as a starter tower. How about late game damage? Well, Executioner has 40 DPS. That's half of Gladiator's, for over double the price. Sure, its range is better, but Gladiator has a clear role. Executioner, not so much. It's an interesting concept and a unique tower, but if the devs wanted to make it good, they utterly failed. Oh, you need flying detection? Besides the fact that Hardcore and Nights 3 and 4 are the only places that you currently need it, Ace Pilot exists. Oh, you need it consistently for late game? Let me introduce you to Ranger! Oh my god, you need splash damage. Swarmer is so much cheaper and so much more effective, while maintaining its ability to deal single target damage. Early game, there's no reason to use anything besides Gladiator, and if you don't have that, Golden Quick Boss or Golden Scout works perfectly fine. Executioner is conceptually flawed, and since I still stand by Night 4 being the hardest event in TDS history, it needs some buffs. The issue with Executioner is that it tries to do everything at a certain extent as a jack-of-all-trades tower. But most meta towers have one or two strengths while being weak at other things. You have a loadout, so your other towers can supplement the weaknesses of that tower. Jack-of-all-trades have no place in the meta, because although they can do anything, they are master of nothing. So how do we buff Executioner? Well, how strong should Executioner even be? I'd say strength slightly less than current day Gladiator would be fine. Now, in theory, Executioner should be better than Gladiator, with it being harder to obtain. This is intentional, by the way, considering how the devs made Executioner cost 700 Robux instead of Gladiator Game Pass's 500, which is exactly what they did with Mortar and Turret, because Turret is better than Mortar. But either way, Gladiator is too OP in my opinion, and if you want to truly make Executioner viable, here are my thoughts. A slight DPS buff to higher levels, a decent cost nerf to levels 2, 3, and 4, and gaining hidden detection at level 3. If that makes it too OP, slightly reduce its range. That would give the tower a role as a viable early game tower, with some level of competition to Gladiator. Either that or major damage buffs across the board, and a cost increase to cement it as a late game tower. I really don't think John's opinion on balance related things, nor the fact that it's a somewhat viable solo fallen early game, means that it's a good in any way. So, is Executioner bad? No. But is it nearly as viable as people think? Also no. A for effort, don't buy this tower yet.